E for MarketWizards.com and eMiniWizard.com, about 11:15, 20th of June, 2019. Reminding traders use risk capital you can afford to lose. Well, we certainly have had the generals backing up the train this morning. And that's a good thing for anybody that likes a sense of fair play. And I'd said probably going to trap some Charlies at one point. It may be hard to get a solid swing, but we will play the rotations as we see them. And I said before we're done, we're probably going to catch shorts too. Primary target today, we thought if we could get back to this 51.5, great. And then below that, the good fortune. Targeting the middle 47.5 to half gap 46.75. Anybody that's in this trade on trailers probably, make sure you are paid coming into 47s. Started the day with that idea that this was going to be our support, and we turned it around at the other end and said we're going to use this 65 to 68 as our resistance. 30-minute chart. Keeping an eye right here. Blue line, that chart has been in play. And we've got the RTH, solid sells without any rotations. Once we got off that plateau, everything has been a lower high, lower low. I said back in here, the red line, if your trade does not work in here, take your stop. You don't have to let it bleed against you. Could feel that right in here at that 55, couldn't get back to 56.25. Open the door up for this rotation. Half gap is achieved. Used to be 82% odds for that. I don't think it's that high anymore, but it's certainly is one of our favorite trades. Convenient trade today. Short side. Don't know if we can get very much. Don't think of it as a big trade. Take it one step at a time. Said we are going to follow this chart because it seemed to have the right information we needed. We also saw the same thing happening in the RTH, I'm sorry, the RTY and in the NQ. Paid for sure. Half gap. Don't even think about it. Generals have said we're coming back, backing up the train. Said make sure you pay by the 50s, and then this is the bottom half of this, and I have found that this is something that needs some respect. If we get through here, I'll be very surprised on one shot. You could see this rotation where it's stalled here, and the bot said, okay, let's keep coming. And this was another chart that we looked at a short while ago, thanks to Zeke. And in a 2-day swing, we're back to this 46 area, 45.75 as a 40 back. And I said, don't get careless. Some traders today thought you could close your eyes and just buy. Anybody that's got that 47.5 to 46.75 paid for sure. Manage a trailer if you want it. I'm looking at the time. We're coming to the end of the second hour. fed up usually turns into a sell the news type event. They threw this thing way up here overnight. So I'm surprised that we didn't take a little bit longer to come back through here, but it is what it is. So 68 to 65, still resistance for now. And that chart we had looked at over here. And a reminder, this is really a test of last year's high. So we're about 20 points off of the high. All the way up, green, green, couple of spin bars, and then all morning long, this has been all red. So this is a bigger look, target zone achieved, and then coming back in, looking for support. Still looking for support. First things first, show some respect here. And be about a 20-point trade. I think we had a good morning. Anybody that's played and had the idea of trying to get 2 or 3 points and work a trailer. The biggest challenge for me this morning was seeing this line, knowing that most times we will not go through 3 lines at a time, and oftentimes not the second, but right in here you could feel it. Okay, no traction. Guess they're still coming south side. Because this rotation wasn't a 5-point rotation, so you just know that they're still coming. Great morning, anybody that's played it. Lock your profits. Relax. No heroes today, we said. Thank you, Brian. And I think you've been able to see how easily we can flip whether we want to look at the ES or RTY or whatever. Not quite to your middle. Solid 40 back, 2-day range. Solid 40 back here as well. And normally that should be your minimum expectation, like in a 2-day range. And then on a subsequent bounce, if you get failure, then you look for your 50. And that's the idea of 4, 5, 6. So today we're blessed as traders to have, if you slept through this, you still made something if you played today with some common sense. Not being too aggressive, saying I want a better entry. I like the long side, but I want something that gives me better odds. And if that was you and you played short side playing into that, even if you didn't get the last part of it, but got some of it, you're still better off than you are just trying to buy the highs. That's where we get beat on days like today. Because not only do you have to add in the length of the overnight range, but you really want to go back from yesterday's idea as well. And if that's not convincing enough, then you want to come back and you want to look at it from this perspective too, how far we've come. So this was probably as helpful a chart as any today for me, just saying, okay, we've double topped. let's see what the generals want to do, and then where are they going to support? Find support. I'm suggesting that don't overstay this level right now. Doesn't mean we can't come through it, but I think in one swing we've got to assume some profit taking now. High is probably in for the day. And I thought the worst that would happen today would be if we just got a choppy 10-point range. But the general said, no, we're going to bring it back. We're not going to just leave it in a choppy range. Thanks, son. Guys, I think we've had a reasonable morning. And I said avoid trouble. A lot of traders don't get that concept. Especially Charlie thinks you can just close your eyes and buy. The generals moved the market, not us. And overnight in such low volume was part of our thinking today. The targets were already hit. At 58 was the target, we said. Angels and demons. We're at the middle, as is the case. Those of you who are looking at the 456 trade, I've got 43 and a quarter as the 6. So let's figure for now we're in the pipe. This needs to be resolved. If you buy today, don't think of it as a buy that's going to take out the high. Just think of it as a reaction trade. We've got some trap longs today if they bought at RTH. And we obviously have trap shorts from yesterday. So I believe the high is in, and RTH we may make another low. But I'm cautioning you from thinking too aggressive now. Half gap has been hit. And basically I'm looking at this as trying to test last year's high, which is that 47 area. A lot of traders, well, I won't say a lot. Some traders got beat if they played last night. They're going to look to wiggle out too. So keep that in mind. 30-minute chart coming back into the blue line. We know we can go over and under, but gives us an idea where a nice target should be. Green, red, blue. It's hard to go through 3 lines.